Noah, have you heard about Y Combinator's new topic release? 2025 fall, fresh off the press.
What do we got, buddy?
Well, Y Combinator is going to solve all of DoD's problems, solve government consulting bloat. They have the answer. They're calling for new startups. Check out this video.
The US government spends hundreds of billions of dollars a year on consulting. As you might imagine, this isn't the most efficient or innovating part of our economy. But the last couple of years, we believe that there are a few big reasons that this will change. Most importantly, today there is political pressure to cut wasteful consulting and spending. Every part of the government now runs on software. This software is usually custom built by companies like Deloitte or Accenture. And anyone who've used this software know that we can do a lot better. Finally, today, LLMs are so good they can already do a lot of the jobs that these consulting firms do for the government. We've recently funded companies who help startups get approved to sell to the government. This is called FedRAMP. We've also recently funded companies who help the government cut regulation and use LLMs to make sure that the laws and policies coming out of the government are actually legal. We think there's a lot more work the government consulting firms can do, and we want to fund startups who build LLM software to do that work.
Wow, did he use an LLM to generate that speech? Because insert some buzzwords, maybe ask it to look at current events and things that are coming out of the DoD. This is a little ridiculous. I mean, come on. Is why Combinator doesn't have a fundamental understanding of why people hire consultants? This is like the first year in college saying, I know why. I'm going to create an LLM to remove McKinsey, Bain, BCG. Come on. We know that stakeholder management matters, right? Human interaction matters. Like, consulting companies are what they are, not just because it's a technical problem they're solving. It is a people problem. And misunderstanding that means that it's just like the most cliche version of a tech pro I can imagine.
I look. I don't disagree with you, man. I think this is the line that stood out to me is authorized to sell to the government. This is FedRAMP. It's just like if you Google "sell to the federal government" and look at the list, oh, we found one. This is called FedRAMP. Look, I've been a big believer for a long time that getting more people into the space is a good thing. You want great technical talent coming out of universities to be excited about the problem sets that the federal government bring to the table. I still think that's a good thing. We want people to work in these companies. We want people to build companies. We want people, hopefully, to work in some of these positions to understand the problems that they're hoping to solve. All of that is great. What is, I think, part of a broader trend that we are seeing is people, offering advice, guidance, mentorship, and direction who actually have no idea what they're talking about. You could spend about a minute on a LinkedIn, certainly on my LinkedIn feed this week. Ben, I was this close. I texted some friends today. I was like, I'm getting ready to hang up the cleats, man. I don't know what we're like. There's no room. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm hollering into the void. You need somebody who you're out there trying to figure out ways to be helpful to others. We've got a ton of shameless self-promotion. We got the B2B SaaS bro who's selling you lead gen software on Monday, telling you he analyzed 302 OTAs from the Defense Innovation Unit on Tuesday, and he knows exactly how it all
Comment
happens.
playbook, and I'll DM it to you in your inbox.
Yeah, if you comment playbook, you also get a $100 million IDIQ. I mean, this is getting to be banana land. Our friend, friend of the show, John Ferry, had an interesting take on this. To your point, why does the government hire consultants? It's not just for the expertise in an LLM. It's what we affectionately in the industry would say, a throat to choke or credibility on the line. What's the old saying, Ben? Nobody gets fired for hiring McKinsey. There is I think you're absolutely right, a change management part of this. You could argue they're not great at their jobs, but we will see. Just like today, I saw the first AI ad agency that raised millions of dollars to be an AI ad agency. They're pivoting to being, guess what? An ad agency that maybe uses some AI with their services for a perk. I think we're going to see a lot of this, at least for the time being, in the government world because
we're rebranding the podcast to be an AI first podcast, right?
This is the I don't know, the genius intelligence zone. What would we call this thing?
That's a throwback to last week for the OG listeners. Well, let's just look at the budget, right, for next year, or big beautiful bill, or fiscal year 26 drafts are out now. Are we seeing huge changes in the DoD budget of where they're spending money on consultants? No. So before I go into the attack with the Y Combinator bros, I'd check out and see if the DoD budget is going to shift in the way these people think. I mean, let's be honest. Let's spend some time going through the Y Combinator founder partners page,
Well,
because
what's your
I really
point
want to
here?
make a point.
What's your what is your point here?
I would really like to be careful about who you give your money and who you take advice from. Now, listen, if I was building a B2B SaaS or a B2B, B2C company, holy shit, could I learn from some of these guys, right? These are excellent entrepreneurs, and it is no shade against their entrepreneurial past, but I think they have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to government sales. Let's go through everybody here, right? Gary Tan, great Twitter personality. Yeah, he worked at Palantir for 2 years, 2005, 2007, and was an engineering manager, not on the customer side. I don't think Gary knows how to sell to the federal government. Well,
He's bringing some spice. We got some spice this week. It's coming from
4.5 years at Airbnb, right? Product lead on the growth team. Yeah, I don't know how much there or at Voxer he was selling to the federal government. And we can go through again and again. Tom, okay, from the UK, not going to help with the federal DoD. We've got Tyler, Clever. Clever seems like a great company. Hey, if I was selling to departments of education across all 50 states, I would absolutely want Tyler on my cap table. Federal government, DoD sales? Nope. We've got the AdSense Google campaign guy here, Paul. Seems awesome. Great product. Creator of Gmail. That is fucking cool. Not helpful for DoD sales. We've got tons and tons of amazing founders. And as I scroll through, I'm not seeing a single one that has had a real successful sale here to the government in any sort of impactful way. So I would be careful before you go respond to the YC call and take their money. I'm not saying don't. Think about it, but just be careful about who your advisors are.
Wow, Ben is spitting flames this week. All right, I got two things for you. One, maybe the message is, hey, YC, welcome to the party. We'd love to have you here. Maybe you need to bring on a partner with that specific experience, because federal sales it's not just product, right? It's build something people want. Great. Does that translate directly to DoD? Maybe, but you got to know how to navigate those systems. The second thing is, I think what YC would argue, those who've been through it, and there are some companies, many founders who build in the defense space who've been through YC, they're teaching a process. They're teaching the customer discovery method. They're teaching this kind of iterative prototyping mechanism, which is fundamentally based on getting outside of not building in kind of secret for 10 weeks and then coming out. It's constantly iterating with customers. That's really freaking hard to do with government customers, but it is really important. So I think they would sell, Ben, their pushback on you would be, hey, we're selling and we're teaching a method more than we're selling our partners. What do you think? You buy that or no?
Again, YC has a lot of great videos. Is that worth the equity cost, right? I'm not going to make that calculation for you. We did some VC math last week. Maybe next week we'll do some founder math and think about how dilution works. But just be careful with who you give. Equity is such a prized resource. Don't just give that away to learn something you get on YouTube for free. Would be my take.